Hello everyone, I'm Tam, and we are back with another Why I Think It Is. Today's topic is college. Particularly, college is not the endpoint. It's not the goal in and of itself. Increasingly, I'm seeing college become more of like a brand. For example, UC Berkeley versus UCLA. Similar dynamic as Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. And and I guess the uh, the Steelers versus like I guess the Chiefs in American football. So it's kind of becoming more like a brand, like you wear like Nike shoes or something, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that because colleges are for the most part public institutions that need to market themselves to to continue their existence, and because they have a lot of lecturers to pay and so on. So I understand the mentality behind having to, I guess, become a brand name and kind of market yourself. I guess for colleges in particular, marketing their alumni, because the alumni is what gives the college a good or bad reputation at the end of the day. What the student population can do and can't do is how the rest of the world kind of sees the effectiveness of a college. So point being that the college is becoming seen more as more of like a tribe, a kind of like community, a brand name, compared to what it actually was supposed to be, which was just simply a train to take you from point A to point B. For example, you spend like 4 years studying biology, and now you have the credentials and also the experience to become a biology teacher, work as a biologist for a company, and so on. So has an incoming student to college, or someone who is at college at the freshman or sophomore level, uh, you might be tempted to mistake the train for the entire experience. So college is still a train to take you from point A to point B. It doesn't matter how fancy the train is. Like for example, this train has 2 stories, and we're like Louis Vuitton seating, leather seating, and this train has a very cool rock star theme, and it goes to like a bunch of music festivals, which could be a metaphor for, I guess, the city attached to the college. For example, Vanderbilt College, I think, in Tennessee in Tennessee, there's a lot of like I guess rock star rock punk concerts there. Anyway, the point being that you may mistake the train and the nice view outside the train, and you may get lost, and when your time is up, usually 4 years, that that bill comes in, and the train conductor writes you a bill for everything you've done, and you have to ask yourself whether or not the experience is worth your time and financial investment, because you're definitely investing both your time and finances. So financially, most students will have some kind of debt because colleges are just becoming too exorbitant for what really they're worth. For the same amount of time and money, you can become a software engineer, taking a online academic program, online boot camp. The boot- I One of my peers, my coworker, not really coworker, but like peers in my professional network actually did that. He spent like 6 months or something studying in a online boot camp, and was able to go from a help desk from a IT help desk to a professional, like a programmer. So and that took him like 6 months plus maybe like $12,000 compared to like the average software engineer path for a college, which is like 4 years and costs you. well, kind of like way more than that, like 4 or 5 times more than that. So, your time and financial investment is tied up. It is a commitment, you know. For the same amount of time, for example, I can work as a salesman associate, and by year number four, I could possibly be a salesman manager. And those guys make at least 5 figures, 5 figure plus, and they have, they're usually pretty good with like travel. The company the company wants to send them everywhere to build more network and get more referrals. They usually have, good dinners because they have to like, meet up with like C-level people to explain the deal and so on. So those guys have it pretty good. So for the same amount of time, I could have done that, for example. So um, um, it is a you have to see college as a strategic investment of your time and resources. Otherwise, you will get lost in the detail and mistake, the train ride, the experience with the views, and then but by the time your time is up, that bill comes in, and you have to ask yourself whether or not this is worth the experience.